वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपा बुद्धिर्य तमः प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, warm welcome everyone in the study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we'll continue our study. Now, the the nucleus of Krishna Bhakti, the central, the most pivotal thing of Krishna Bhakti is, we understand, is devotee association, sadhu sangha. Another name for sadhu sangha is satsang. Hmm? Satsang, sadhu sang, devotee association. What does satsang mean? Sang means association, and association also has to be with attachment, develop attachment then. Association means dedication as well. No one can attain anything in life without being dedicated. Be a materialist or a spiritualist, there has to be dedication for sure. Uh, So, devotee association means devotee dedication. Dedicate our time, dedicate our life, dedicate our mind, dedicate ourselves wholesome. And the fruit, the fruit of sadhana bhakti is taking the shelter of a divine spiritual personality, meaning Guru Padashraya. The fruit of sadhana, all this sadhana we are doing, reading, hearing, japa services, and the fruit of all of this is to search out a spiritual master and take shelter of him. Hmm? And the fruit of taking shelter of a spiritual master, what is the fruit of that? The fruit of taking shelter of a spiritual master is uh, this Krishna Prem, attainment of Krishna Prem. So, devotee association is the key, and devotee association gradually it has to come to a level wherein association means attachment, uh, wherein we build a friendship. We build a friendship amongst devotees. There won't be any politics if we are actually become a good friend of each other. Hmm? If we care and concern, then we won't be seeing each other as, oh, she is a better devotee. Otherwise, we will bring these material considerations as well, right? This jealousy and will creep in. Oh, she is a better devotee than I. I feel jealous of her. But if there is pure friendship, then there is not like a competition. Then it is not like a race. We have to give up this mentality that we are in a race. No, we are not at all in a race, not with ourselves, not with anyone else also. Just relish the process, relish the process, huh? Relish the wisdom, relish the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, what Krishna is offering. And naturally, we will situate ourselves. One day, our everything, thoughts, workings have become transcendentalized on the absolute platform. The world needs friends. The world does not need grandmothers. In the sense, संसार को दोस्त की आवश्यकता है। संसार में हम सब दोस्त ढूंढ रहे हैं, दादी नहीं। दादी बाद में, दोस्त पहले। Friendship first, instruction later on. The first saintly person, he has to be friend, no? He has to open his hand. We want friendship. Friendship will attract others. Hmm. So how can we be good friends? And then when we are friends, yes, we can correct someone, we can instruct someone, we can take instructions. See, to take things from friends is very easy, no? To take any instructions, or if a friend has a feedback which is not so good, say. Still, we can take it easily. So, devotee association means devotee friendship. Then, the relationship between God brothers, God sisters, were most sacred. Such a friendship oriented relationship. No, it should be, at least amongst God brothers, God sisters. The relationship between spiritual master and a disciple is the most pure relationship. And it has to be friendship also in there. Yeah. The relationship amongst other devotees, fellow devotees and all has to be of a friendly terms. If I am on friendly terms, then I can be non-confrontational, which is a very good quality of a sadhaka. Vaishnava should never be confrontational. बहसबाजी करना एक साधक का वैष्णव का शिष्टाचार नहीं है वो उसका व्यवहार में नहीं आता बहसबाजी ना बहुत चीप है आर्ग्यूमेंटेटिव is very cheap. It is not the ideal of any good person to be argumentative. No. Debate, logic, arguments. No, these are not at all the ideals of a Vaishnava. Okay, so let us, with this prayer, with this mood that I become a friend. I become a friend, whosoever I become a friend in this world. For any living entity, a jiva, for Vaishnavas for sure, be in friendly terms, then there should be Vaishnavas, some Vaishnavas who are best friends of my life. That special relationship. And we have to experience that speciality in devotee association in this life itself. All of that has to be experienced in this life if we want to transport ourselves to eternity. We have to experience that glimpse or more than a glimpse, the joy in devotional service, the joy in japa. We cannot do japa, say, generally speaking, say more than 2 hours. Okay, fine. But in that 2 hours, one day we should be doing very full absorption. Just listening and chanting and listening, chanting and listening attentively. So all this, everything has to be built up, na? Studying Bhagavad Gita, everything has to be built up in this life itself. We have to experience that taste, that attachment, that separation, that desire. And this we have to sustain. We have to sustain. It's a very narrow path. Krishna Bhakti is a very narrow path. And we ought to go this narrow path. We should make our firm resolve to go this narrow path. Okay, with this prayer, mood, hope, aspiration, ever seeking blessing of Vaishnavas, we continue our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, text 1 to 3. We read yesterday also, so we'll read just the shloka and Pip can read translation and then we'll go into the purport from where we left. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha अभयं सत्त्वसंशुद्धिर्ज्ञानयोगव्यवस्थितिः दानं दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्यायस्तप आर्जवम् अहिंसा सत्यम् अक्रोधस्त्यागशान्तिरपेशुनं दयाभूतेष्व अलौलुप्त्वं मार्दवं हरिरचापलं तेजसमाधृतिः शौचम् अद्रोहो नातिमानिता भवन्ति सम्पदं देवीम् अभिजातस्य भारत.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharat, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature.
Yeah. So Rena, scroll down in the purport. I think yesterday we read until charity, right? Mm. No, we went beyond charity. We read self-control, sacrifice, and did we do swadhyaya? We read this, right? Charity we read, I believe. Then sacrifice we read, right?
Yes, we have to begin with tapas.
Tapas? Okay, scroll down, Renas.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Swadhyaya also did we do?
What's this one?
Okay. Renas, let's do from Swadhyaya. Go one paragraph up, huh? So, Pepe,
Okay.
if you can read this paragraph, Swadhyaya, and then Tapas Harsha read, and then Deepthi can read the next paragraph, and Renas reads the next.
10. Swadhyaya, or Vedic study, is meant for brahmachari or student life. Brahmacharis should have no connection with women, and they should live a life of celibacy and engage the mind in the study of Vedic literature for cultivation of spiritual knowledge. This is called Swadhyaya.
Harsha read, then Deepthi.
Tapas or austerity is specially meant for the retired life. One should not remain a householder throughout his whole life. He must always remember that there are 4 divisions of life: brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. So after grihastha, the householder life, one should retire. If one lives for 100 years, he should spend 25 years in student life, 25 years in householder life, 25 in retired life, and 25 in the renounced order of life. These are the regulations of the Vedic religious discipline. A man retired from household life must practice austerities of the body, mind, and tongue. That is tapasya. The entire Varnashram Dharma society is meant for tapasya. Without tapasya or austerity, no human being can get liberation. Without tapasya or austerity, no human being can get liberation. The theory that there is no need of austerity in life, that one can go on speculating and everything will be nice, is recommended neither in the Vedic literature nor in Bhagavad Gita. Such theories are manufactured by show bottle spiritualists who are trying to gather more followers. If there are restrictions, rules, and regulations, people will not become attracted. Therefore, those who want followers in the name of religion, just to have a show only, don't restrict the lives of their students nor their own lives. But that method is not approved by the Vedas.
As far as the Brahminical quality of simplicity is concerned, not only should a particular order of life follow this principle, but every member, be he in the Brahmacharya ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, or Sannyas ashram, one should be very simple and straightforward. Shall I read?
Yeah, you read Ahimsa also, and then
Okay.
Renas reads Satyam, huh?
Okay. Ahimsa means not arresting the progressive life of any living entity. One should
Wow,
not
read
think.
this again 2 times. Read that again 2 times.
Ahimsa means not arresting the progressive life of any living entity. Ahimsa means not arresting the progressive life of any living entity. One should not think that since the spirit spark is never killed, even after the killing of the body, There is no harm in killing animals for sense gratification. People are now addicted to eating animals in spite of having an ample supply of grains, fruits, and milk. There is no necessity for animal killing. This injunction is for everyone. When there is no alternative, one may kill an animal, but it should be offered in sacrifice. At any rate, when there is an ample food supply for humanity, persons who are desiring to make advancement in spiritual realization should not commit violence to animals. Real ahimsa means not checking anyone's progressive life.
Read again.
Real ahimsa means not checking anyone's progressive life. The animals are also making progress in their evolutionary life by transmigrating from one category of animal life to another. If a particular animal is killed, then his progress is checked. If an animal is staying in a particular body for so many days or so many years and is untimely killed, then he has to come back again in that form of life to complete the remaining days in order to be promoted to another species of life. So their progress should not be checked simply to satisfy one's palate. This is called ahimsa.
Diksha, read from Satyam. Renas, you read after that.
जी भैया. Satyam, the word means that one should not distort the truth for some personal interest. In Vedic literature, there are some difficult passages, but the meaning or the purpose should be learned from the bona fide spiritual master. That is the process for understanding the Vedas. Shruti means that one should hear from the authority. One should not construe some interpretation for his personal interest. There are so many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita that misinterpret the original text. The real import of the word should be presented, and that should be learned from a bona fide spiritual master.
Diksha, read Akrodha also.
Akrodh means to check anger. Even if there is provocation, one shouldn't be tolerated. For once one becomes angry, his whole body becomes polluted. Anger is a product of the mode of passion and lust. So one who is transcendently situated should check himself from anger. Apisum nama means that one should not find fault with others or correct them unnecessarily. Of course, to call a thief is not fault finding, but to call an honest person a thief is a very much offensive for one who is making advancement in spiritual life. Hari means that one should be very modest and must not perform such act which is abominable.
री है वो री हाँ
अच्छा री. Akapalam. Determination. Akapalam. Determination means that one should not be agitated or frustrated in some attempt. There may be failure in some attempt, but one should not be sorry for that. He should make progress with patience and determination.
Renas, read.
The word tejas, the word tejas used here is meant for the kshatriyas. The kshatriyas should always be very strong to be able to give protection to the weak. They should not pose themselves as non-violent, If violence is required, they must exhibit it. But a person who is able to curb down his enemy may, under certain conditions, show forgiveness. He may excuse minor offenses.
Rajashri, read from here till the end. Huh?
Hare Krishna. Shaucham means cleanliness, not only in mind and body, but in one's dealings also. It is especially meant for the mercantile people who sh- yeah, who should not deal in the black market. Uh, Nati manita, not expecting honor, applies to the Shudras, the worker class, which are considered, according to Vedic injunctions, to be the lowest of the four classes. They should not be puffed up with unnecessary prestige or honor and should remain in their own status. It is the duty of the Shudras to offer respect to the higher class for the upkeep of the social order. All these 26 qualifications mentioned are transcendental qualities. They should be cultivated according to the different statuses of social and occupational order. The purport is that even though material conditions are miserable, if these qualities are developed by practice by all classes of men, then gradually it is possible to rise to the highest platform of transcendental realization. Hare Krishna.
Rajashri, read translation.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belonging to godly men, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. Hare Krishna.
The chapter is entitled Divine and Demoniac Nature. The chapter is not entitled Divine and Demoniac Person. This we should always again remember, huh? That it is the nature which we are studying. These are the qualities which we are studying. 26, it says, these are the 26 qualifications. All these 26 qualifications are transcendental qualities, and 26 qualities of a devotee. So this is not like a divine and demonic person, no. These are the qualities. And in our dealing, we'll come across many. And first of all, with ourselves, how many of these do we find in ourselves? How many of these do we find in our friends, family members, relatives? And later on, we'll study demonic nature as well. How many do we find? So we always should be distinguishing. The person means the soul proper is a potential pure devotee of Krishna, is pure. But the mind is impure. The mind is stuck in this world. The mind is associating with matter. The soul's consciousness is very perverted, is living in misidentification crisis. So then one develops some good qualities, some bad qualities. But the soul proper is genuine. Like Bible, Jesus says, right? Hate the sin, not the sinner. Hmm? So we have to have this quality. We have to work on this quality for ourselves. That how do we hate the sinner, not the sinner? Prabhupada, na, he preached fearlessly. A preacher has to be fearless, Baba. What is the fear there in preaching the gospel, in preaching the message of Krishna? Uh, And fearlessness will come when we take shelter of Krishna, when we depend on Krishna. And fearless, see, one is strong preaching. Again, strong and light. It is nothing is strong as such. It just depends on my consciousness. If my consciousness is too weak, then anything will appear very strong to me. Na? Hmm? But it is a natural, this is the natural message. For Arjuna, for elevated personality, this is the natural thing, practicing Krishna consciousness. And for someone who is very jumbled up, for him, like, wow, this is so heavy. Hmm? So heavy. For a sadhaka, a devotee, is basic knowledge. Basic general knowledge should be what? That I'm a part of Krishna's existence. Krishna is the center of my life, or should be the center of my life. That should be his basic knowledge understanding. And for someone who has not yet found his resolve in Krishna consciousness, his or her basic knowledge understanding is what? Life comes from matter. And enjoy life, and then after that, that no one knows what happens, sort of thing. So we should always be distinguishing between the person and the person's nature. So strong and light, it really depends on the on my consciousness. Also, one may speak strong, one may speak clear, one may speak straight, say, but one should never speak offending. To speak cutting is one thing. And what is one cutting? A speaker should be cutting his audience's false ego. A speaker should be cutting his audience's illusion. Krishna did that, right? Krishna hammered, shattered Arjuna's illusion, Arjuna's bubble, burst it. His false ego, burst it. It was, what is that saintly person if he cannot burst my false ego? A saintly person should not be flatterer, na? What flattery is required? With andha yatha ande upaniyamana. Prahlad Maharaj says, na, such flattery, cheaply, chooply flattery, na, is like a blind man leading to a blind man. What will happen? Both will go in accident only. So we don't want that. That doesn't mean speaking strong doesn't mean that we shout at the top of our voice. Huh? We point a gun at someone's head. No, that is not strong, or that is not like strongly speaking. That means uh, we need not be insulting, we need not be offending, we need not be condescending or hurting as such. And yet we can speak strong. One can speak strong and not be angry, na? One can still speak strong and not be rude, not be harsh. That. And a speaker, he should always, I mean, how is it a good service? See, speaking should be one cuts, penetrates, tears apart one's false ego, false material based aspirations, aims, desires, dreams, crash them all together, completely crash them. And what do you do after this crashing operation? Seal the person's heart with humility. Uh, Stitch the person's heart with humility, with friendship, with love, with care. But first of all, Krishna did this, right? 2:11. What did he say? Um, what did Krishna say in 2:11? The wise lament neither for the dead nor for the living. Asocyan anvasocastam pragyanvadamscha bhasasa gatasuna gatasumscha na anusochanti pandita. Readiness, if you can share screen, bring 2:11 in translation, we'll just read. Or maybe if you remember the translation by heart, Pip I think knows this translation by heart, or share, say anyone if knows the translation. Otherwise, Renas share screen 2:11, Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 11 shloka. So this should be the first thing. If a preacher, a speaker, he should be the bursting the bubble of false ego, of material dreams, aspiration. He should not be inflating it. He should not be giving it much fan. Scroll down, Renas. Paper translation.
the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "While speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor the dead."
So after Arjuna surrendered, this is where Krishna started speaking, and he chastised Arjuna. But look, in the chastisement also, he's saying that a wise person doesn't speak like this and all. So it's not nowhere Krishna is offending Arjuna. Nowhere he's having a stab at Arjuna, or egoistically making fun of Arjuna, mocking. That is not friendship. Look, in friendship, there is bullying involved. In school, college, uni, it is the friends who bully their friends, no? And just say, okay, this is friendship, this is friendship. No, but the other person experiences, suffers bullying, racism. But in devotee settings, we should be genuinely friends, care, concern. There should be no scope for any bullying, any racism, or any discrimination or anything that is insulting or hurting in devotee settings. No. So friendship means care, concern, heart to heart connection, wherein we have to come to a stage wherein we take a delight in the advancement of another devotee. We feel so happy and enthused seeing others advance. And we should be seeing others as advanced. Mm. It should not like, oh, we should not try that, okay, oh, how can I pull this devotee down? How can I pull that devotee down? These are all material conditioning. We carry them. It's not like suddenly we came in the assembly of devotees and now we became pure. No. We are a work in progress. We are work in progress, but we should be aware of all these things. Now somewhere something is we can make effort. We can try hard, make effort, but many a things they come by blessing, not by just making efforts. By just making efforts but not praying, then those efforts won't shine. Huh? We have to make efforts, we have to persevere. Like yesterday we discussed something on the letter C, right? Dipti, do you remember what we discussed? C, material calculation. Hmm? Complaint zone, na? Complaint zone will brings what? Competition. Or material competition will bring material complaints, put us in material calculations that will always keep material calculations will always keep us in confusion, material confusion, hmm, which will what? Make us cry, cry, crib, cribbing, crying, complaining, confusion, competition, and all this will lead to what? Chaos, chaos. And the opposite, the parallel of it is what? Chanting, chanting. Chanting will bring what? Cleanliness. Chanting will bring clarity. Hmm? Chanting will bring cleanliness, clarity, no confusion, no competitive mentality. We all are friends of each other. We are not competitors of each other. We should develop that loving bond, friendship. Prachetas in Bhagavatam, before they went into their austerities and performed their austerities, they were guided by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, as their spiritual masters, guided them to give them a mantra to chant and worship Lord Vishnu. And Prachetas, before they started even, but the way they approached, the way they planned, the way they communicated with each other, and the way they coordinated, the way they showed this unity, team spirit, Vishnu was very pleased. Wow, such brotherhood. Hmm? Naham tishtami vaikunte yoginam hridayeshu va tatra tishtami narada yatra gayanti madbhakta. This is Krishna speaking to Lord Narada Muni that I do not reside in Vaikuntha. Naham tishtami Vaikuntha. Mayavad interpreted it very differently though. Mayavad said that look, Krishna says he does not reside in Vaikuntha. A meaning, one should read the whole context and the sloka and what Krishna is saying na, to Narada Muni. Naham tishtami Vaikuntha. Yoginam hridayeshu va. I do not reside in Vaikuntha, nor do I reside in the hearts of a yogi. Where do I reside? Tatra Nitishtami Narada. I reside where my devotees congregate and chant the holy names. Hmm. Where my devotees congregate and perform bhajan, perform loving devotional service. There I reside. I am alive there. I come alive there. Krishna becomes present there. How many of us are convinced that Krishna is watching us right now? How many of us are convinced that Krishna is also participating in this Zoom? Krishna is also listening. Are we convinced enough? Krishna is also present in this meeting. Krishna is watching us. Krishna is with me. Krishna is listening in this Zoom meeting. And this is how we should deal with each other. That yes, Krishna comes alive. The whole yes, is Krishna getting fascinated? Huh. Oh, this is what Sadhu Sang should be. That fascinates Krishna. Wow. Look at those two devotee pals. Look at those four devotee pals. No, friends. Krishna comes alive in there. It is this sort of culture, sentiment, emotion which brings Krishna forward. So we should be very convinced yes, Krishna is watching us. Krishna is listening to us in Zoom. Krishna is present. And the more enlivened we feel, the Krishna will bless us and make it more lively. One is we become greedy, and now we should also make Krishna greedy, right? That is devotee association where Krishna becomes greedy. Tatra tishtami narada yatra gayanti madbhakta. Na? Krishna becomes greedy. Machita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam. This parasparam, na? One another. Radha Krishna's paraspar premay leela. They should be that should be our attraction. And now in devotee setting, how we deal with each other, our paraspar friendship will attract the divine couple. Hmm. This relationship which we carry with each other, we have to make it Vrindavan consciousness. And when there is this loving settings amongst devotees, Krishna is present there. Krishna is present. There are some things, how to understand that one is advancing in Krishna consciousness. Okay, take this as a question. How to see one is advancing in Krishna consciousness? How to understand that one is practicing bhakti and is practicing nicely, is advancing in the practice of Krishna consciousness?
Hare Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
I would say when a devotee wants to associate with other devotees more and more, when it's like when some devotee just yeah, and I guess it's also like the lack of material desires as well.
Okay, very nice. Very nice. Yes, Rajeshri?
So currently the material difficulties increase.
Material difficulties decrease.
Increase. No,
Oh,
increase.
okay. Material difficulties increase. Okay. Nice. And what Venus you said, yes, one would want to associate more with devotees and his material desires come down. Okay, nice. Anyone else? Any other thoughts? Because we should be checking now. We should know how to gauge if someone is advancing or not advancing. One could be practicing for 10 years, but where? Oh, still the same. So how do we see that one is developing a taste, relishing Krishna consciousness, advancing? Any other thoughts? Yes, babe?
Hare Krishna. I say if somebody's taking more shelter more and more in the process of Krishna consciousness, or reading,
Very
chanting,
nice.
like as associating also.
Hmm. Yeah. So these are the things when one sees through the practice of Krishna consciousness, he's doing good time management. His desire, like he's not much interested again. I don't know, Facebook, internet, these sort of things and all. Uh, so that is one, yes, is making progress now. He's not watching much football or cricket for that matter. He's not much watching politics or BBC for that matter. So material desires, aspirations coming down, calm down. That fever is calmed down a lot. So that is one thing, but that is not all, or that is not very strong also. Huh? Oh, furthermore, like how much material difficulties, yeah, if someone is very advanced or advancing, then there will be some upheavals more coming in the way, for sure, more tests and tribulations. This desire for more and more devotee association, then how is his behavior in devotee setting? The thing is, how is one advancing when devotees like this other devotee, say a group of devotees, uh, and when they all like, say, Renus or Pep, then yes, they are advancing in Krishna consciousness. When being liked by devotees is a direct confirmation Krishna is pleased, when Vaishnavas are pleased. Uh, yes, one is advancing in devotee Krishna consciousness. Reading, hearing, chanting, developing that taste is good. That yes, developing that taste. But imagine b- the the most. Check this out for yourself. When a Vaishnava smiles looking at me, wow, that calmness, that soothing. When a senior Vaishnava realize, evolve, someone who I inspire, take inspiration from, and the smile of devotees is so sweet when they smile. When they speak less, but they speak sweet and such gentle showering of words that pleases the heart so much. So that is the sign of advancement when we are more recognized by the Vaishnavas. The more we become recognized by Vaishnavas, the more Krishna is taking us in. This is the direct confirmation when we are more accepted in the community of Vaishnavas. Mm. And yes, when I am developing an interest to associate with devotees, to be friends with devotees, and devotee association is the cream, and like-minded devotee association is very much required. Like-minded devotee association is what is encouraged by Rupa Goswami, by our acharyas. Like-minded. Uh, uh, Casual devotee association is never encouraged. We should not take casual association. We should not give as well as such casual association. Also, living in the company of devotees as well, one should be a bit watchful of his or her devotee association. Yes, Pip, you had something to say?
Hare Krishna, thank you. Uh, I wanted to ask if you could expand on this like-minded. Prabhu, he often says the great thing about Krishna consciousness is you can explain your way around anything. So what exactly do you mean by like-minded? It's like our particular vision of the philosophy. If you could expand,
Hmm.
please.
Yeah, the beauty of Krishna consciousness is you can explain your mind around anything, huh? Yeah, like-minded, na? Srila Rupa Goswami, I believe in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, yes, he writes, Sajatiya Asha Snigdha Sato Vare. Hmm? Sajatiya Asha. Sajatiya means heart to heart, again, like-minded. See, bhakti is with bhav. Without bhav, there is no bhakti. Na? The entrance to prem is through bhav. The essence of prem is also bhav. And bhav is one thing which attracts Krishna. And bhav is what like-mindedness meaning. That the mood. We all carry different temperaments and different mood. And we cannot be like, okay, uh, to our mood could not be in like in Dasya ras, in Sakhya ras, and although attainment of any of this rasa is very elevated stage, but still we should be drawn to one particular rasa and more finding more absorption. So it is that sort of association wherein I find the mood very palatable and I'm inspired and attracted to that mood, to that style. Huh? Like say in sport, na, in football there are 11 players. Huh? In cricket there are 11 players. But each player has a different mood of playing, is it not? Each has a different style, different temperament, different mood. They all are contributing to the team, to the victory of the team, and they all are propagating for their team. Like Manchester United, oh yes, everyone view or promote Manchester United, all those 11 players, or say England cricket team. Hmm? That yes, we all promote the England cricket team. But each one within the player is an individual player, right? He has his own mood, style, and sort of vision, say, style of playing, approach, attitude, and things like that. Now, us in the spectators, we may be attracted to Manchester United as a team whole, but we cannot be attracted to all 11 players. No one. If one says that yes, I like all these 11 players, or say among 11 players, not all are forward strikers, right? Very few. Some are only forward strikers. Not all are defenders. Not all are midfielders. So among those midfielders also, I cannot say that yes, I'm attracted to all these midfielders. So this sort of mood or interest or attraction, it is like where does my heart resonate? So in that like-minded association means where I get drawn a lot by inspiration, where I got drawn a lot by vision, where I got drawn a lot by transcendence, by eternity. That association which helps me scale this material life to eternal spiritual life altogether. So, listening is very predominant in that. We take association by listening. huh? We take physical association, that is also very important. Physical, if we get to share room with a devotee, very helpful, very nice. If we get physical association, very nice. If we get to go parikrama with a devotee, so nice. If we get to go for a preaching program with a devotee, very nice. Huh? If we get to listen kirtan from a devotee or listen classes from a devotee, classes are what? A devotee's realizations, right? And his realizations is like his mind speaking, his heart speaking, and that is what will attract through that vani, through that speech of the devotee. Now, hearing from that devotee, that goes the sound vibration going into the ears. Does it penetrate my heart? Does it open up my? Does it make Krishna conscious more and more appealing to me? Does it bring Krishna life for me? That is like-minded than association, where Krishna comes alive for me, where I understand Krishna as a person, God is a person, a ever fresh, youthful person. huh? Full of rasa, akhil rasamrita, where there is clarity of siddhant principles. The tattvas become more clear, then ras pushti of ras will happen. pushti of ras meaning confirmation say of ras will be there. See, our attraction is towards ras. Uh, Attraction is towards ras, but for us to develop that attraction, the tattvas have to be very clear. Otherwise, we cannot sustain ourselves in this practice of Krishna consciousness. And this is true, na? Like-minded birds of a feather flock together. Hmm? In spiritual world also, na, there is teams and all. That doesn't mean that there is conspiracy or there is groupism. But we all are drawn in this world to a certain interest likes. There's so many political parties, but one cannot vote for all political parties. One is drawn to some political parties' ideologies. Hmm. Likewise, where does my heart resonate and how to confirm check that? By listening from the devotee, by hearing kirtan, hearing classes, by spending time with the devotee, uh, and seeing that devotee, how does he conduct himself, how does he behave off record and on record. Mm. Does he do talk the talk or just walk the talk? Uh, Is he all show and no fire say? Or does he mean what he say? They say, oh, what do you mean? Uh, does he say what he means and does he means what he say? This has to be checked. And this is what humility and this is what I should bring in my life. I should mean what I say. I should mean what I say and I should say what I mean. Now there is no gap in it. Is it not? When I mean what I say, Krishna spoke what he said, what he meant. Mm. So I should speak, I should say what I mean, and I should mean what I say. I should mean it as in I should own it, I should live by it. And what I own, what I live by it, I should speak also. Exactly the same message. What tough is it? We have to be just like parrots, repeat what Krishna is saying. Just like parrots, repeat. If we are very obeying na devotee association, if I'm obeying my mentor, then I should fall flat at his feet and just scriptedly repeat what I have listened, what I have heard. तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलो श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. Arenas, bring on screen 1031 Shrimad Bhagavatam 1031:9. Let us see if it stacks up, if it is befitting, if it falls in line to what Pip is saying, or huh? So otherwise dogla panti na duplicity. I say something, I do not mean anything, hmm? Or I mean something but I do something else, sort of. So we should be working like a parrot, repeating what we have heard. Listening is the highest skill. See, if at all we can be good listener in this world, if at all, such a highest skill. Arjuna is doing what he's listening. He's listening only, and Krishna is revealing everything to him. Likewise, if I attentively listen, the message will come about. Uh, it will all come about. So go text 9. This is maybe I'm going beyond my thing, but let's see if the translation fits
Mhm.
in with this.
Wait, is this
Yeah,
the?
this chapter, text 9.
Oh,
No,
oh,
chapter is fine, Reina. Scroll down, come to Sloka 9, text 9.
wait. Um,
Yeah, that's
no.
it. Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's fine. Yeah, paper translation.
The nectar of your words and the description of your activities are the life and soul for those suffering in this material world. These narrations, transmitted by learned sages, eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent.
So this is the Gopis saying, and this is the thing. See, personally, I like this word. Renus, let the screen be there. Personally, I like the word transmitted in the translation. So these narrations, the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna, the name, fame, beauty, glory, the simplicity, the honesty, the truthfulness, the kindness, the sweetness of Lord Shri Krishna, the celibacy of Lord Shri Krishna. Hmm. Krishna is Akhil Brahmanda Nayak. He is the Akhil Brahmand Brahmachari, Krishna. So these narrations transmitted by learned sages eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. So listening is the great skill. Listening has to be worked upon. Then the narrations, when we hear, narrations means what? The name, fame, the Roop Madhurya, the Venu Madhurya, the Leela Madhurya, and the Prem Madhurya of Krishna. Mm, when we hear about Krishna's dham, his holy name, his paraphernalia, associates, and all these narrations, when we hear it from transcendental sages, realized sages, and souls, then they will eradicate the sinful reactions in my heart and bestow good fortune upon me. And this is the ability to speak comes with the ability to hear. We can never be a good speaker unless we are a good listener. Can never be a good speaker. We can never be a good leader unless we are a good follower. Can never. So the nectar of your words and the description of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. Although this is Gopi Geet and this is the epitome. This is okay. Rena screen can be removed. This is the cry. This is that song which captured Krishna, which defeated Krishna. Hmm. This is that song where Krishna had no reply to it. Say. That is love. Krishna was stunned, astounded, astonished, complete. That where this is that cry where Krishna found his limit. That is the love of the gopis and predominant gopis, Srimati Radharani. And that Mahaprabhu has come to give us that same, share with us that same message. So we should be very much attracted to that message of Mahaprabhu, what Mahaprabhu has come to give us. We should dovetail our life. We should honestly shape our life, mold our life. If we have to go to the ends of this world, do whatever, but we should be taking devotee association. We should not be leaving devotee association. We should be taking even finer and finer devotee association, and we should be developing this vision, aim, this thought, this mood. One day I will be 50. Where do I want to see myself when I'm in 50? In Vrindavan. One day I will be 60. Where do I want to see myself? In Radha Kund. or wherever I am, I have to make my place of residence Vrindavan consciousness all together. Hmm? I have to be spiritually surcharged. Then Krishna can use me as an instrument. Krishna is waiting for someone to use someone as his instrument. And as we discussed earlier, the holy uses the lowly. Uh, So if I do not find myself low, Krishna can never use me. Krishna can never use someone who is puffed up. Even in our normal dealings, na, in our study, work and all, can we engage someone at work? Suppose someone is my subordinate, say at work. But if he's too smart, can I engage him nicely? Can I feel happy? No. Krishna is not looking for someone too smart. He is looking for someone who is rational, who is genuine, who is realistic. Krishna will make one smart, whatever smart is required. I don't need to act too smart. So far in life, I've acted too smart only, and this is why I'm banging my head in material miseries over and over. I'm coming across material miseries only. So Sajatiya Asha Snigdha Satovare. Snigdha means affection. Mm. So this Krishna consciousness comes alive in like-minded devotee association. It will come alive. We know na Ramanand Rai asked Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila chapter 8 that amongst all separation, what is the amongst all pain, what is the highest pain? Pip, do you know this answer? Mahaprabhu asking Ramanand Rai that amongst all forms of pain, what is the highest pain? If anyone heard this dialogue between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramanand Rai, then please share. So Mahaprabhu, Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asking Ramanand Rai, his eternal associate, that Ramanand Rai, of all the pains, what is the most unbearable pain? Ramanand Rai replies, the unbearable pain is the pain of separation from a devotee. That is the most unbearable pain. Pain of separation a disciple should feel from his Guru Maharaj. Pain of separation a disciple, devotee should feel from his Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru. Uh, Pain of separation a devotee should feel from his devotee friend. If I cannot experience that pain, I'm not understanding the bhav in Krishna consciousness. And that pain can be experienced only when I have a like-minded devotee association. Na? It is natural to experience that sort of pain only with whom my heart and mind coincide, connect. Very important to find that friendship. If I want to go in a different trajectory in Krishna consciousness, if I really want to channelize myself in Krishna consciousness, the six Goswamis, the six Acharyas, the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, didn't they share a friendship amongst themselves? They were not seeing each other as like Acharya or teachers, no, no. And there was no competition. Oh, Jiva is a much better writer. All these are faulty thoughts. I can never think of like this, no. So, in order to have a very untoxic environment, na, all this mentality has to be given up. He is better, she is better, and all. It's like coming into Krishna consciousness and acting like children. See, who is a kid? Who is a child? Huh? I'm like a demon or a animal living in this human body then when I entertain such thoughts. One is what? Animal man or man animal. Huh? Human being, but animalistic tendency. Now human. And now what? Devotee human. In this human form of life, in this material body, but devotee consciousness. If I'm not able to, okay, take this as a question. See, if I'm not able to connect at a heart level with some devotee, how can I give Krishna the assurance that I will connect with him at a heart level? This is the question. Huh? Can we give any confidence assurance to Krishna? If I'm not able to connect with five devotees, two devotees at a heart level, if I'm not having that like minded association, what assurance, confidence does Krishna get that yes, he will be able to connect with me as well? There are many mandlis, groups, na? In spiritual world. Mahaprabhu had mandlis, groups. Yes, there are groups based on their bhav, how they uniquely and collectively say love Krishna and serve Krishna and the reciprocation they have. So the sooner I shape myself up, uh, I pray myself for attainment of that like-minded. Ramachandra Sangha Mange Narottam Das. uh, Because they had that friendship, they had that affinity, that love, care, same mood. So we need that. Otherwise, Krishna consciousness is not just like, okay, chant 16 rounds, follow four regulative principles. It's just the surface, Baba. Follow four regulative principles, chant 16 rounds. Is that all what it is? Chant 16 rounds meaning chant attentive 16 rounds. Chant crying 16 rounds. And not just one day. Make it the life altogether. And if someday, look this, na, if someday, if I can chant 16 proper rounds in one go, for a week, if I can manage it, then do you think that devotee will be just chanting 16 rounds only? He will naturally be chanting 18, 20, 25, 32. What is the sign of advancement? When one chants 32 rounds, he what should he realize? Oh, I can chant double the rounds now. Should that be the realization, or should this be the realization? I can chant only 32 rounds. Huh? I can chant only for 4 hours. This is a sign of advancement when he feels I can do only this much. I can do only this much. I'm not doing much. I'm not doing any much. I'm not doing any good. What is the sign of a good japa? When a devotee realizes I can never do good japa. Actually, japa one can never do good japa. Japa can never be good. One should really, if somehow one day one does some attentive japana, even less than 16 rounds or even 16 rounds, what should be the thing? He should really want to bang his head on the wall because that sound vibration, that energy, that tejas, that energy is transporting up and up and up, and the material body should not be able to sustain and cope up with that high energy. What to do then? Feeling that separation, he would want to bang his head on the wall. Hmm? Our acharyas, I believe Bhaktivinoda Thakur or some of our acharyas, they would go where? In a dungeon, in a cell, in a deep, dark place. Why? Because they want real silence, wherein they can chant loudly, audibly, echo, and listen to the sound vibration. Go in that zone. Hmm? Dug up earth and go inside and chant Hare Krishna. That like attentive chanting, where in this universe should I just hide myself and me and Krishna and that dialogue. Because the sound vibration is so sweet, the holy name is so sweet. I just want to absorb more and more and more and more. So Rupa Goswami prays that why do you not give me Krishna millions and millions of tongues and millions and trillions of ears? Give me that so that I can chant your holy names with millions of tongues and listen to them with trillions of ears. And this doesn't come about just by casual association. Can this come about by casual association? And this Rupa Goswami, this is his experience. But is it limited to him? Does he want to keep it with himself? How can I praise Rupa Goswami if I'm not first of all appreciating, glorifying his realization altogether? A father gets so much of joy when he sees a father is a lawyer, say, and when he sees his son studying law and becoming a even better lawyer than himself. So Rupa Goswami will be so pleased, first of all, when we really glorify his realizations and what he has given. He was able to read the mind of Mahaprabhu. Bhai. He was able to read the mind of Mahaprabhu. And this is what Rupa Goswami also wanting us. Somehow, someday, I should pray to be able to read the mind of a devotee. If I can make a place in the heart of a devotee, that is the highest achievement. Who resides in the heart of a devotee? This is a question. Who resides in the heart of a pure devotee? Harsha, Deepti, Renas, Rajshri, Lakshmi ji. Radha and Krishna reside in the. Yes, Rajshri?
Yes, sir. I was going to say that, not Krishna.
Radha and Krishna reside in the heart of a pure devotee. And somehow or other, heart of a pure devotee, there's ample space. Ample space. And if I can make some room in the heart of a pure devotee, that is the ultimate achievement. Now, this making room, it just doesn't come about by casual association. I should feel that pain of separation. I should feel that worth and the value of devotee association. That is real advancement when I can value what I have been blessed with, what I have come across. And none of us deserve any of this. Can any one of us claim that, yeah, well, I deserve to do Krishna Bhakti? I was pure enough, I was pious enough, and all. No. Bhakti is beyond piety. Bhakti is beyond good karma. Bhakti has got nothing to do with good karma as such. It has got nothing to. Bhakti is causeless. Yeah. It is on sadhu sanga sarva shastra kahe. Lava matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoy. Yeah. So it is only coming in association of some Mahat Purush. Renas, bring Bhagavatam 552. Shrimad Bhagavatam 552. So it is only by coming across some Mahat Purush, pure devotee, and when we serve them, we please their heart. What is the best service we can give to a devotee? Is when we can sit down and listen from him Krishna Katha. The highest joy a pure devotee feels is when he is glorifying Radha Krishna, when he sings the glories of Radha Krishna. And if we can listen, when he chants, when he leads Kirtan, and if we can participate, we can listen. Scroll down, paper translation. Mahat sevam dwaram ahur vimukte.
One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees. Whether one wants to merge into the Lord's existence or wants to associate with the personality of Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoised. They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful and are fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in any abominable way. Such people are known as Mahatmas.
So, only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimukte. Their personalities could be impersonalist or devotees. Whether one wants to, so even if one wants impersonal perfection, the way is this only by serving someone who is perfectly in impersonal perfection situated. Say. And for us, sadhakas practicing Krishna consciousness, wants to associate with the personality of Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. So this is the bond. Especially this is how the relationship between God brothers should be. Very friendly, very friendly. In friendship, there is no room for ego. Rena, scroll up. The shloka is very good. Mahat sevam dwaram ahur vimukte. Tamo dwaram yoshitam sangi sangam. Tamo we understand, right? Darkness. Dwaram door. So Mahat sevam dwaram ahur vimukte. By serving the Mahatmas, the doors of liberation become wide open. Tamo dwaram yoshitam sangi sangam. And the door of hell become wide open when we associate with materialistic people or those people who are interested in women and wine. Hmm? When we associate with offenders, pasandis, those who are envious, atheists, those who are envious of God, those who are envious of Bhagavad Gita, those who are envious of Harinam, and with them, those who are womanizer or those who are much into material intoxication. Then the doors of hell become wide open. Mahantaste samachitta prasanta. Yeah. Mahatmas, they are equipoised. Samachitta, their mind, chit means mind also, chit means consciousness as well, chit means intelligence as well, some places. But they are equipoised in their mind. So they are very peaceful. Vinaya va surida sadhavo ye. They are very kind, surida, very gentle, friendly. Hmm. They do not harbor any. They they do not see anyone as body or matter. Na? They sees them as Krishnas. So they carry that love in their heart for each and every living entity. Devotees are the best well wisher for a living entity. Okay, Renus can remove screen. So this Pip, does this somewhat answer your thing, like-minded?
Die. It
It
may be
is very.
concluded.
Hmm?
Sorry, I have a follow-up question regarding this. Is that
Hmm?
say a pure devotee, because we're all individuals, is it that one pure devotee will always like get along, be attracted to another pure devotee, or there can even be like, discrepancies in this?
No, there's no discrepancies. There's no like discrimination. No. Again, on the same example, na, one could be Manchester United, say forward striker, and another could be, say, Bayern Munich forward striker. But they are both very good in the sports, same. So they naturally become attracted. Or one could be attracted to one who is a defender, and another is a striker. But a striker could be attracted to a defender also. Wow, you are such a good defender, and wow, you are such a good striker. The aim and is the same, na? Bhav are different. See, Sakhya, Dasya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, Bhav are different. But deep down the aim is same, to bring joy to the divine couple. Hmm? So pure devotees, there is no envy among pure devotees. There's no there's no jealousy. What to speak of envy? Envy is even stronger than jealousy. Why? Because they are completely free of complaints. They live in a no complaint zone. They are completely dependent on Krishna. So they do not ever experience any scarcity. Nothing is like scarce because they are through with their material desires. They do not harbor, hold any material desire, internally, externally. So they are the lightweight altogether, lightest weight. The mood could be different, but underlying principle is still the same. Hmm? So that is why, yes, there is no animosity, but again, because the mood are different, they maintain some distance in that sense. Yeah. We see in Chandravali's party and Radharani's party, they are in Braj, na? There are different villages. Some villages have a different mood, another villages have a different mood. So those different moods they do not like, and even now some villages they won't go to the other village if they know that the bus or this sweet, say the sweet has come from a shop belonging to the other village. They will not take that sweet. No, we won't take this sweet. Even if the barfi should could be so dear to that devotee, but if it has come from another village, he won't take it. No, because bhav. That doesn't mean that there is animosity or there is this. This is all rasa vardhan of Krishna. And deep down, yes, there is aim is the same to enhance the joy of the divine couple. So politics is only in material world. Such things are only in material world. In spiritual world, there is no envy. There is not such a animosity. Nothing of this sort. Even at all, if at all there looks some anger or some banter or something like that, it is all apparent. It is all apparently real, not really real. As in, it is not at all material. It is all to facilitate, enhance the rasa. And here, what we do in the name of rasa, we do all cheap things here. This is why we are conditioned. We condition ourselves, we bind ourselves, and they are free. Even if they lie, there is lie in spiritual world, telling a lie. It is purely pure, purely truthful. Because they are free from this duality of lie or truth. They know only one thing, Radha Krishna. They see nothing else. And for myself, I know only one thing, sense gratification. uh, or my conditioned nature or my slackenness. Does this answer your question?
Thank you,
If it
Prabhu.
is very extremely important to, and we can see now in society when school, college, school, na, there comes a time in school. What take options now? You want to study mathematics, science, or arts? Now you have to choose. Then within college, university also, where do you want to study mathematics? Which university? So we all are attracted to some like-minded. Yeah? Then students become friends like-minded. Oh yeah, his mathematics and my mathematics interest, and also yes, at work also, everywhere in family also, na big family gathering. But I get drawn to some brothers, some sisters a bit more. So likewise in devotee association, we have to go a bit more like-minded devotees. Then we can find more finer inspiration, finer joy. finer uh, appeal in the practice of Krishna consciousness and prepare a mood. Again, take this. One day, could be tomorrow, might be taking my last, say, 20 physical breaths. है ना? I could be one day, maybe tomorrow. I could be spending the last 30 minutes of my life. This is a question for all of us. Last 24 hours of our life, how would we want to spend it? If we are told that tomorrow is the only day for us, how would we want to spend it? Are we ready? Are we prepared? Are we there yet? How ready should we, what we should be doing? We should be doing the same what we did today, we should be doing the same tomorrow, but with more intensity, with more bhav, with more absorption. That much preparation we should prepare so that after 1 year, after 10 years, after 20, 30 years, a day is going to come when it will be my last day in this earthly planet, in this physical material body. So, but if I have prepared myself that whatever I have done today, I will be doing tomorrow also. I will be doing day after, but with a higher consciousness, with a purified consciousness, with more Krishna consciousness, with more love, with more crying, with more praying in it. Hmm? Then, when that final day comes, the final 24-hour comes, what different? Before that 24-hour comes, I better come to my original consciousness, to my natural consciousness. Then it won't be a push effort. Push and effort has to be made now when I'm in a sane mind. See, in that many, if you check the stats, the way of living a body, it is mainly, is it through some disease, through some illness or through some disease or some road accident? Check some stats. What is the main driving cause of that, say, living a body passing away? Is it through hospitalization, through some disease, natural death through old age, or some road accident? But whatever it is, in many cases it is very sudden, or if not sudden also, if it is still known to me, then maybe it is like, yes, because of some disease. Then I'm not in much control of my body. So at that time, how can I actually understand myself to be in a very stable consciousness? But right now, if I'm in any good physical shape, then I should work up good sadhana. Good sadhana means like how it is reading, chanting, and japa is one thing. But the mood of reading, the mood of chanting, the mood of japa, why? Who is helping me do this? Who wants me to read? Who is who should be the benefactor? This is a question. Okay, this is a question. Who should be the benefactor of my reading, hearing, chanting? Who should be pleased out of it? Vaishnava should be pleased, no? This is just an attempt to please Vaishnavas, to please devotees, to please Radha Sham Sundar, to please Gauranitai. Yeah, that thing. If they do not become pleased, then what is the point? What is the point? Then it is self obsession. Then it will become academic study. We do not want Bhagavad Gita to be an academic study. We do not want to just memorize the slokas or just memorize the text, chapters, what is where and all, but we do not understand what is the message. So we don't want that sort of sadhu sangha, wherein we are physically associating with devotees for 20 years, might have associated, but we do not know each other. Wow. Hmm. Of course, we may not, we could be living in some big temple. For more than 10 years, one devotee might some devotees might be living together, and it's not necessarily one may know other devotees in and out. But at least there should be some devotee na, who I'd feel drawn to. If I cannot feel drawn to some particular devotee, how can I give assurance to Krishna that Krishna, yes, I will be true with you? Baba Krishna will say, na, Baba, first handle my devotee. If you cannot handle my devotee, or if you cannot be at peace with my devotee, if you cannot be in love with my devotee, how can you be in love with me? Not possible. So, this is all kind of the realizations of devotional service. This should be, na. Prabhupada's teachings are very deep, tremendously deep, and deeper only. There's no end, no limits. And blessing, mercy is only the way to get into it. Contemplation, absorption is what is going to save me. We all get very busy schedule, right? With our studies, work, and services. And also in our lives, all of us get free time, spare time when we are alone on our own. Now check, if we are put alone on our own, how much contemplative can we be? How much absorption can we develop? It's very important to develop absorption, to be contemplative, to build up a mood. And then we cash in on this moment when we are alone, on this time we are alone. It can be a blessing to be lonely. Lonely in worldly dealings, but in devotee association, not lonely like that. So when we are in our room before going to bed, we should read. We should pray. We should develop this mood. Cry for it. Waking up also, not just wake up and rush out straight. No. Make our way, then do japa. Whole day we should be sarabor. Sarabor meaning fully in thought. Surcharge. If we at least one day I must become fully Krishna conscious. Now, one day, even externally, but one day I should try to externally read, hear, chant, associate with devotees, do services, just speak with devotees one day. Then gradually bhav will come. Bhav doesn't come easy. Bhav doesn't come easy. And without bhav, Krishna is far away. Far away. Okay, any other thoughts, questions, or comments or clarifications, please? So apologies, we couldn't directly discuss much on the points from the purport or those qualities like ahimsa, cleanliness, truthfulness. And if you all are comfortable, okay, then next time when we meet up, we'll try to read those qualities a bit and try to understand furthermore and continue. But it is all development of Krishna consciousness only. Call it Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. The message is the same all over. Thank you very much for your patient listening and kind encouragement. Hare Krishna.